By now, we were supposed to have flying cars, robot butlers, and moon condos. Instead, I'm dodging potholes, arguing with my fridge, and my Alexa suddenly thinks she's in charge. Somehow, humanity made 101 insane predictions about the future, and, spoiler, they aged like gas station sushi. If you want to feel better about how bad we are at predicting things, hit like. Now, let's get into this mess. 1. Ever fought a mosquito at 2 a.m. convinced it was built in a secret lab? In the 70s, some thought pollution would create giant mutant bugs. Meanwhile, my biggest battle is against that one fly who dodges every slap like it trained with Neo. Forget kaiju insects, just give me peace. 2. The 1980s swore pet robots would walk dogs and file taxes. Reality? My Roomba's trapped under the couch, screaming, and Siri just asked if I meant to Google that. Yeah, Siri, I meant to spiral. Play Baby Shark and mind your business. 3. Dream recording should exist by now. Just plug in. Watch last night's chaos like a Netflix show. Instead, I wake up knowing I did something insane, but my brain refuses to provide details. If I could replay my dreams, I'd probably owe my subconscious an apology. Or a therapist. 4. Psychics in the 90s swore the internet would turn us into geniuses. Cut to Twitter fights about flat Earth and which Hogwarts house the Titanic would be in. My brain's too busy memeing to absorb facts. Thanks, WebMD, for diagnosing me with space. 5. A one-world government? Bro, we can't even agree on one type of phone charger. World peace sounds great, but let's start small. Like maybe, just maybe, one universal USB port before we attempt global unification. Baby steps, humanity. 6. By now, I was supposed to be eating my couch. No, seriously. Scientists promised edible furniture. Meanwhile, I can't even snack in bed without finding crumbs 6 months later. If my coffee table was made of cake, it'd last 2 hours. Tops. IKEA's return policy would be absolute chaos. 7. 1950s ads promised robot maids would scrub our homes. Fast forward. My smart oven just burned popcorn and is judging my life choices. Meanwhile, I'm hand-washing dishes like a pilgrim. Sure, future. Where's my rose-tinted robo-butler? 8. Back in the 80s, experts swore time travel was imminent. 2024? My smartwatch can't even tell time during daylight savings. GPS keeps sending me to CVS instead of Chipotle. If time machines exist, they're stuck in 1999 fixing the Y2K bug. Priorities, people. 9. The 70s promised flying suitcases, luggage that follows you like a trained puppy. Meanwhile, I'm still wrestling my suitcase at baggage claim like we're in a custody battle. If self-moving luggage ever becomes real, it better also fight TSA for me when they randomly select my bag for inspection. 10. Early 2000s gurus swore we'd work 4-hour weeks. Haha, my flexible schedule is just Zoom calls in pajama pants. The only thing part-time? My will to live after 37 unread Slack messages. Thanks, futurists. Next time, predict coffee that does my job. 11. Imagine explaining to a 1970s futurist that our grand underwater cities are TikTokers in inflatable pools, lip-syncing to Ocean Man. But where are the gills? They'd cry. Meanwhile, my waterproof phone dies in the shower. Progress, baby. 12. Cyborgs by 2020, they yelled. Joke's on them. My cyborg upgrade is a caffeine IV drip and AirPods permanently grafted to my skull. Bonus feature, crippling dependency on autocorrect. Beep boop, my grocery list is now 80% memes. 13. Teleportation was supposed to erase borders. Instead, we've got virtual borders. Netflix region locking me out of friends while hackers in pajamas breach the Pentagon. Priorities? Teleporting humans? Nah, let's teleport spam emails to Mars. 14. 1920s. Futuristic fashion will be metallic jumpsuits. 2024. We're dressing like depressed hobos cosplaying as Steve Jobs. But with pockets. Take that, Art Deco. Your chrome onesie can't hold my emotional support chapstick. 15. Everyone will speak Esperanto by now, cried 1950s linguists. Plot twist. We've invented emoji as a universal language. Translates to, I'm emotionally invested in this crypto Ponzi scheme. Shakespeare, eat your heart out. 16. Flying cars? Pfft. The real future is arguing with a fridge that auto-orders kale while your Uber Eats driver yeets burritos into a bush. Innovation. I'd trade my smart toilet for a pizza drone, but here we are. 17. 1940s moms were promised robot nannies. Instead, we've got YouTube kids auto-playing Finger Family remixes. My toddler now speaks fluent algorithm. More Cocomelon, daddy, or I'll data mine your credit card. Chilling. 18. Mars colonies by 2025. Meanwhile, my houseplants die if I forget they exist. NASA's growing space lettuce. I'm microwaving leftovers from the Obama era. Cosmic domination. Let's master indoor plumbing first. 19. A few wild futurists believed we'd have walls that change color based on our mood. Great idea, except my walls would constantly be flashing error. If mood-sensitive paint existed, my apartment would look like a glitching rave party, and my landlord would probably charge extra for the emotional damage. 20. The paperless office is coming, they lied. My desk? A shrine to sticky notes and existential dread. The only paperless thing here is my bank account. Thanks, Bitcoin. 21. Remember the 1980s hype about virtual reality replacing real life? Flash forward. We're basically ignoring each other on smartphones, not building entire digital utopias. My VR headset collects dust, while my aunt uses FaceApp to look 19 again. Immersive future? If by immersive you mean scrolling memes in traffic, nailed it. 22. 1920s ads insisted we'd jet off to Jupiter for cosmic vacations by 2025, sipping martinis among the moons. Reality check. I'm sipping instant coffee while my bank balance orbits negative space. NASA's busy with rovers, and I'm busy with Rover chewing my socks. Interplanetary getaway? My phone battery can't last a day. 23. In the 1950s, people believed everything would be nuclear-powered. Cars, toasters, maybe your houseplants. Meanwhile, my biggest power upgrade is switching from regular AA batteries to rechargeables. The only thing glowing in my kitchen? That questionable leftover pizza. Radioactive future? Hard pass. My Geiger counter's busy measuring the fallout of my existential dread. 24. Remember the 2010s hype about going fully cashless? Just tap your wrist implant and poof, groceries appear. Instead, I'm digging for quarters in a crusty car cup holder because the vending machine hates Apple Pay. Futuristic transactions? My biggest digital purchase is extra lives in Candy Crush. Progress never tasted so pixelated. 25. The 1920s eugenics crowd predicted a master race by 2000. Instead, we've got cat memes and viral dances shaping our evolution. Master race? My hairline strongly disagrees. Meanwhile, my hamster lives rent-free in a Deluxe cage. Darwin definitely didn't foresee trending hashtags and devious licks as humanity's grand achievement. 26. 1970s life coaches promised we'd have 3-day work weeks in the new millennium. Fast forward. I juggle 6 side hustles, 2 mental health apps, and a wilted houseplant that reflects my social life. Free time? That's code for doom scrolling at 2 a.m. The only 3-day cycle here is my laundry's rotating regret. 27. In the early 2000s, DVDs were futuristic, and streaming sounded like sci-fi. Now, I need 6 subscriptions to watch one series because every character has their own spin-off. Take my money, I say, ironically skipping lunch to afford yet another streaming platform. Future's here, buffering in glorious 4K, sometimes. 28. The 1980s imagined phone booths transforming into miniature teleport stations. Reality. Phone booths are extinct, and we've got supercomputers in our pockets that drop signal in the grocery aisle. Teleportation. I can't even transport myself downtown without my rideshare driver missing 3 turns. Efficiency. Meet existential side-eye. 29. In the 1950s, visionaries claimed we'd have emotion-sensing TVs that change shows based on our mood. Instead, my TV just switches to commercials when I'm feeling happy. Mood-based programming? more like mood-based interruptions. 30. Ever hear about the 1930s dream of solar highways and flying trains? Instead, we're stuck in traffic on potholed roads while Elon tweets catgirl memes at midnight. The sun? We mostly use it to blind ourselves during Zoom calls. If the future's so bright, why am I squinting in regret? 31. Floating cities by 2025? Sure. If by floating, you mean my hopes and dreams drowning in student debt. The Jetsons promised us sky-high utopias. Meanwhile, my upstairs neighbor's base is shaking my walls, and that's the closest I've gotten to an airborne lifestyle. 32. Self-driving cars were supposed to eliminate traffic. Instead, I'm stuck at a red light while my GPS confidently suggests a U-turn through a brick wall. The only thing automated in my life is my existential crisis, every time gas prices go up. 33. Gene editing was hyped to cure all diseases. Meanwhile, my immune system crumbles at pollen, and I have to carry 3 different allergy meds just to survive spring. Science is growing human organs in labs, yet somehow, I'm still losing a battle against flowers. 34. They swore AI would let us talk to animals. My cat just knocked over my coffee, stared me dead in the eyes, and walked away. No translation needed. I know exactly what that meant. Forget deep space communication. I just want to know why he's so passive-aggressive. 35. Schools were supposed to be obsolete by now. Instead, my niece is getting a PhD in Roblox while I Google how to fix Wi-Fi at least twice a week. AI tutors? If YouTube autoplaying slime videos at 3 a.m. counts as education, then sure, we made it. 36. Skyscrapers covered in vertical farms? More like overpriced condos covered in regret. My basil plant died in 48 hours, but sure, let's terraform Mars. The future of agriculture is here. If by here you mean only affordable to tech bros with rooftop kale gardens. 37. Lucid dreaming was supposed to let us solve life's biggest problems. All I've solved is how to consistently dream about showing up to work pantsless. If the subconscious is our untapped superpower, then my brain is hardwired for pure humiliation. 38. Lab-grown meat was supposed to be everywhere by now. Instead, my grocery budget has me contemplating whether I even need protein. The future of food? I'm staring at a $12 veggie burger like it personally offended me. Just wake me up when steak is cheaper than my rent. 39. Scientists were convinced we'd find Earth 2.0 by the 2020s. We did, but billionaires bought it first. NASA keeps hyping planets that take millennia to reach, while I'm just trying to afford gas here. Call me when they have public transport and a decent Wi-Fi signal. 40. In the 90s, it was believed we'd have personalized entertainment streamed directly to our brains. Instead, I'm stuck buffering Netflix while my brain can't process the cliffhanger. Brain-streamed entertainment? My mind's already overwhelmed. 41. The wildest theory? That by now we'd have unlocked full brain potential. Every human a genius, solving the universe's mysteries. Meanwhile, I just spent 20 minutes looking for my phone while holding it. If my brain is running at full power, I'd hate to see low battery mode. 42. Hoverboards were supposed to make walking obsolete. Instead, the only thing hovering is my disbelief at those two-wheeled death traps catching fire. Skateboards still rule the streets, sidewalks are still cracked, and I'm still tripping over curbs like it's 1985. If this is futuristic, I'd rather just take the bus. 43. Imagine getting ghosted by an actual ghost. The early 1900s hyped spirit telephones, where you'd ring up your dead relatives. Meanwhile, my phone battery dies faster than my social life. Seance hotlines? I just want a charger that isn't made of spaghetti wiring and disappointment. 44. You'd think with all our superfoods and vitamins, humans would be towering giants by now. That's what the 1930s believed. 7-foot-tall humans dominating the planet. Instead, I'm still stretching to reach the top shelf, while the only thing that's grown is my debt and my screen time. Evolution at its finest. 45. By the 21st century, humans will be hairless. Yeah? Tell that to my barber. The 60s thought we'd evolve into sleek, bald beings. Instead, we're waxing, styling, and spending billions to keep our hairlines from disappearing faster than our will to live. Meanwhile, my genetics are doing their own thing. 46. Supermarket runs in a robotic exoskeleton? That's what sci-fi nerds dreamed up in the 80s. Meanwhile, I'm carrying 12 grocery bags at once like a caveman, just to avoid a second trip. If my power suit isn't sweatpants, I don't want it. Call me when the future lifts the milk for me. 47. Remember when the 70s said a new ice age was coming? We prepared for snowpocalypse, and now we're melting like popsicles in a microwave. Climate predictions have been so chaotic, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow's forecast said raining locusts with a chance of existential dread. 48. Mind uploading sounds cool, until you realize your entire consciousness could be stuck buffering forever. In the 60s, futurists hyped digital immortality. Meanwhile, my laptop struggles to open Google Docs without crashing. If this is the best tech can do, I'd rather stay in my fragile human body. Thanks. 49. People actually thought that telepathy would make world peace a reality. Imagine reading minds at all times. Sounds like a nightmare. If I knew my coworkers' unfiltered thoughts, I'd quit on the spot. The only thing humanity is beaming into each other's brains? Rage tweets and bad takes. 50. 3D printing was supposed to replace factories, letting us print homes, furniture, heck, even pizza. Meanwhile, my printer can't handle a 2-page document without a meltdown. Print a house? I'd be lucky to print a working stapler. The future's here, and it's still screaming Error 404. 51. By now, I was supposed to have a house that cleans itself. At least, that's what 1950s home magazines promised. Meanwhile, my smart vacuum is trapped under the couch. My sink is an archaeological dig site, and the only thing taking itself out is my will to fold laundry. 52. Scientists once claimed we'd have contact lenses with built-in displays by 2020. Instead, I'm blindly fumbling for my actual glasses like a 19th century poet in distress. Augmented reality? My vision's already blurry enough. If I squint at my bank statement, it almost looks like I have savings. 53. By 2025, they said every household would have a robot butler. Instead, my fridge is sending passive-aggressive notifications about expired yogurt. If technology is so advanced, why am I still doing dishes like a medieval peasant? The closest I have to a robot assistant is my phone, auto-correcting ducking wrong every time. 54. Ever dreamed of controlling your home with just a thought? Turns out, the 1980s did too. Fast forward, and I can't even control my thermostat without arguing with Alexa. Set the temperature to 72. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Yeah? Well, I didn't catch that heating bill either. 55. The future of transportation was supposed to be moving sidewalks everywhere. No more walking, just gliding to work like royalty. Instead, I'm sprinting to catch the subway while the only moving walkway I see is the one at the airport that somehow makes walking even more exhausting. 56. The 1930s promised underwater highways, cars smoothly gliding beneath the ocean like high-tech submarines. Meanwhile, I'm hydroplaning on a puddle because my tires are bald. Forget futuristic tunnels under the sea, I just want a road without potholes the size of the Grand Canyon. 57. They swore office jobs would be extinct by now, fully automated, AI handling the boring stuff while we sip cocktails on the beach. Instead, I'm answering emails at 11 p.m. and explaining to a chatbot why I need a human. The only automation here is my soul leaving my body on Zoom calls. 58. Personalized weather control was supposed to be a thing. Turn rain on and off like a light switch. Yet here I am, caught in a downpour with an umbrella that flips inside out like a tragic origami sculpture. If weather control existed, I'd set it to no Monday mornings, ever. 59. Scientists once predicted meals in spray cans. Just spritz a burger mist into your mouth and go. Meanwhile, I still burn toast, and my microwave beeps at me like it's disappointed. If the future of food is anything like my cooking skills, we're all doomed. 60. Remember when the world was supposed to be covered in solar roads that powered entire cities? Meanwhile, I can't even get a solar calculator to work unless I hold it directly under the sun like a caveman discovering fire. If my driveway could charge my phone, then we'd be talking. 61. You ever hear about that gray goo scenario? Supposedly, nanobots would replicate like wildfire and devour the planet. Meanwhile, my biggest fear is the Roomba choking on a sock, hardly an apocalyptic swarm. If tiny robots can't handle dust bunnies, I doubt they're colonizing Earth anytime soon. 62. Some dreamers swore we'd commute by rocket, hopping from New York to LA in minutes. Meanwhile, I can barely afford a plane ticket, and TSA rummages through my underwear like it's national treasure. Daily rocketry, I'd settle for a flight where I'm not wedged between two snoring strangers. 63. There was talk about merging all time zones, so we'd share one global clock. Great plan, except half the planet would be forced to eat breakfast at midnight. I already can't keep track of daylight saving. Forcing everyone to eat breakfast at midnight? Great. Now we're all jet-lagged forever. 64. Optimists once claimed we'd irrigate deserts into lush farmlands, turning the Sahara into the world's breadbasket. Fast forward, climate headlines read like dystopian fanfic, and I can't even keep a cactus alive. Sure, let's greenify a continent. Meanwhile, my sad little succulent begs for water like it's auditioning for a tragedy. 65. The ultimate futuristic family plan? Ditch traditional parents altogether and grow kids in labs. No messy births, just assembly line babies. Fast forward, we still haven't even nailed basic daycare. If factory-made toddlers ever become real, good luck handling the warranty claims when they start screaming at 3 a.m. 66. One bold prophecy said we'd create an artificial sun to light our nights. Eternal daytime, zero gloom. Right? Because humans totally handle extra sunlight well. Have you seen us without coffee? If a fake sun ever blazed overhead at midnight, I just stare at it, contemplating my bad life choices, like a moth drawn to an existential flame. 67. A few wild theorists promised a gateway to a new dimension, letting us pop in and out of hyperspace like cosmic tourists. Yet my most interdimensional experience is losing socks in the dryer. If parallel universes exist, they're probably hoarding half my wardrobe and a chunk of my dignity. 68. Remember the hype about resurrecting dinosaurs? We'd have real-life Jurassic Parks with T-Rex selfies. Meanwhile, the closest we got are genetically bred poodles with weird fur patterns. Giant prehistoric lizards stomping around? We can't even keep a theme park roller coaster running smoothly. Dino rides? Hard pass, thanks. 69. Some predicted a benevolent AI dictator, running the planet better than any human government. Cute idea, until you realize Alexa can't differentiate my grocery list from my drunk texts. One glitch, and we're all forced to sing show tunes at 2 a.m. I'll take flawed democracy over a singing overlord. 70. There was a notion we'd eliminate sleep with advanced tech. Just pop a pill and stay awake forever. Right? Because society totally needs more insomnia. I already look like a zombie on 6 hours of rest. No sleep at all? I'd probably end up questioning my entire existence on loop. 71. Someone in the 1960s thought we'd replace words with smells. Literal scented messages. Imagine breaking up with someone via Oda, "It's not you, it's me." Meanwhile, I can barely handle Axe body spray in an elevator. If odors were our language, middle school hallways would be biochemical war zones. 72. Cold War-era geniuses thought we'd chat via brainwaves. Nope. We've got group texts where Dave accidentally sends that photo. Telepathy. My brain's busy replaying my third-grade recorder solo. Hard to transmit thoughts when my neurons are stuck on hot cross buns. 73. 1950s. Futurists claimed we'd all commute via jetpack. Joke's on them. Today's high-tech travel is me elbow-deep in a Uber driver's aux cord. Elon's launching Teslas into orbit, and I'm stuck in traffic debating if honking actually helps. Jetpacks? More like jet regrets. 74. Anti-gravity stairs were supposed to be a thing. No more climbing. Just float to the top floor. Meanwhile, I still trip on flat ground and pretend it didn't happen. If gravity-free walking ever arrives, I will find a way to fall upwards. It's called talent. 75. Food without flavor was meant to solve obesity. Instead, we went full chaos mode with deep-fried Oreos and flaming hot everything. tasteless food? My body rejects water if it's not at the right temperature. If anyone ever bans seasoning, expect a full-blown revolution. 76. By now, my clothes should be auto-adjusting to temperature. No more layering, just one perfect all-season outfit. Meanwhile, I'm still playing jacket or no jacket, like it's a high-stakes casino game. If this tech ever happens, I want full customization. Let my hoodie know when I need emotional support. 77. Some 1920s optimists thought newspapers would be replaced by personal news drones whispering headlines into our ears. Meanwhile, I can't even read notifications without unlocking my phone and suddenly spending 45 minutes watching cat videos. A floating gossip bot? No thanks, I already have Twitter's algorithm judging my life. 78. The future was supposed to have mood lighting for the entire planet. Color-coded skies for emotions. Yeah, because humans totally need extra emotional broadcasting. If my city suddenly turned bright red during rush hour, I wouldn't think romance. I'd think, welp, time to loot and run. 79. They swore we'd all be fit without trying. AI-powered exoskeletons keeping us in peak shape. Meanwhile, I'm breathing like Darth Vader after one flight of stairs, and my smartwatch just told me to move while I'm literally walking. If my future bod's gonna be automated, I need a six-pack update ASAP. 80. Every person was supposed to have a personal theme song playing as they walked, like a real-life movie soundtrack. Sounds cool until you realize it'd be controlled by an algorithm. One bad mood swing and you're stuck with clown music while trying to quit your job. No thanks. I'll hum my own disaster track. 81. Scientists once suggested we'd have floating, self-sustaining islands. Massive cities drifting across the oceans like futuristic Atlantis. Meanwhile, my biggest struggle is keeping my inflatable pool from deflating. If humanity can't even handle potholes, I doubt we're ready for an entire city casually floating away in a storm. 82. The 60s promised we'd harness energy from human movement. Walking would charge our devices, running could power cities. Meanwhile, my smartwatch dies after 2 emails and I get winded chasing the bus. If my steps generated electricity, I'd still be in debt to my phone battery. 83. Some optimists swore that by 2020, the world would run on a single universal currency, simplifying global trade. Instead, I have 5 different apps just to split dinner. If we can't even agree on chip versus swipe, I don't see one money for all happening anytime soon. 84. Engineers once predicted we'd build a giant dome over major cities to control weather and filter pollution. Meanwhile, I can't even get decent AC in my apartment, and my air purifier screams like a dying robot. Forget climate-controlled megadomes. I'd settle for a bus stop that actually blocks the wind. 85. The 40s had people convinced we'd replace all roads with giant conveyor belts, moving us effortlessly from place to place. Meanwhile, my morning commute is 45 minutes of suffering, and the only conveyor belt I see is the one mocking me at the airport baggage claim. 86. A few health gurus insisted we'd have instant healing chambers. Just step inside, and boom, injuries vanish. Meanwhile, my idea of advanced medical tech is using duct tape instead of a bandage. If healing chambers exist, I bet my insurance still wouldn't cover it. 87. Some futurists believed we'd develop animal translators that let us chat with our pets. Cute concept, except I'm 99% sure my dog's only thought is food on repeat. If he ever does speak, I hope it's not just to roast me for taking too long to open his treats. 88. The 70s claimed we'd have houses that expand and shrink on command, adjusting to our needs. Meanwhile, I can barely rearrange my couch without throwing out my back. If I ever get a house that morphs at will, I just hope it doesn't shrink my bedroom while I'm asleep and leave me waking up in the pantry. 89. Some theorists swore we'd discover a second hidden layer of Earth, massive underground cities or a lost ecosystem. The only underground thing I see is my Wi-Fi signal disappearing in parking garages. If there's a hidden world below us, it's probably just more bad traffic. 90. A few tech enthusiasts claimed we'd have contact lenses that record and replay everything we see. Right? Because that's exactly what society needs. Permanent footage of every awkward handshake and embarrassing trip. If I wanted to relive my worst moments, I'd just scroll through my old Facebook posts. 91. The 1960s had people convinced we'd have thought photography, a camera that captures images straight from your brain. Yeah, no thanks. I don't need my intrusive thoughts accidentally going viral. If this tech ever drops, expect blackmail-worthy footage of me misremembering song lyrics and imaginary arguments in the shower. 92. Some futurists claimed we'd replace food entirely with light and air, just stand outside and absorb nutrients like a houseplant. Meanwhile, I can't even skip breakfast without turning into a gremlin. If sunlight-fed humans were the plan, someone forgot to tell my stomach because it's demanding fries. 93. They once said we'd engineer a planet-wide cooling system, just a giant AC for Earth. Meanwhile, I'm sweating through my shirt 5 minutes into summer, and my car's AC only works when it feels like it. Climate control? I'd settle for a fan that doesn't sound like it's summoning demons. 94. Back in the 50s, some believed we'd domesticate wild animals. Everyone would have a pet tiger like it's a golden retriever. Meanwhile, I can't even get my cat to stop knocking things off the counter. If lions were house pets, I'd give it 1 week before we're all extinct. 95. Some optimists once thought we'd cure aging entirely, eternal youth for everyone. Instead, my back sounds like popcorn every time I stand up, and my knees filed for early retirement. If scientists ever crack the code to immortality, I just hope it comes with a spine upgrade. 96. There was a belief we'd have roads that glow in the dark, lighting up the night without street lamps. Meanwhile, I'm still dodging potholes the size of swimming pools. If my city ever gets glowing roads, they'll probably just highlight how bad the traffic is in HD. 97. Some theories claimed that by 2025 we'd communicate through music instead of words. If that were real, my entire personality would be sad 2000s emo anthems. Imagine getting yelled at in opera or breaking up with someone through smooth jazz. I'd take awkward small talk over a saxophone solo breakup any day. 98. Flying cars? Please. We've got 47 versions of The Office on streaming. Traffic's so bad I've named the potholes on my street. Larry, the crater near my driveway, just swallowed a Prius. Future's not flying, it's honking at Larry. 99. 2001. A space odyssey promised moon bases by now. Instead, we've got crypto bros colonizing Mars in their minds. Humanity's priorities, debating aliens on Reddit while eating gas station sushi. Moon condo? I'll settle for Wi-Fi that doesn't judge my search history. 100. Some predictions claimed we'd have an entire backup Earth, just in case we ruin this one. Yeah, good luck with that. We can't even keep this planet in decent shape. If humanity ever gets a spare Earth, I give it 6 months before we somehow manage to break both. 101. In the 1960s, scientists swore nutrient pills would replace meals. Imagine swallowing a pizza tablet instead of actual pizza. Meanwhile, we're out here inventing Doritos-flavored vodka. Pill diets? Nah, we'll take our existential crisps extra crispy and deep-fried, please. So yeah, humanity tried to predict the future and failed spectacularly. No moon condos, no teleportation, just me still forgetting my passwords and questioning my life choices. But hey, maybe you have a future prediction that'll actually come true. Drop it in the comments. Bonus points if it's completely insane. And if you think in 10 years we'll all be watching AI-generated YouTube videos instead of real humans, well, better like this one.